Welcome to the SDA SnapShot plugin tutorial. This snapshot has become available in the latest version of SDA 5.16, and snapshots themselves represent a very powerful and effective way of managing and organizing applications, processes, components, and so forth. And with this new snapshot, it allows the user to harness the power of snapshots to an even greater level of flexibility. So with an SDA, we're going to look at a quick usage scenario for the SnapShot plugin. Within an existing application, I will simply go to my application process. We can see it has a install component process. I'm now going to add an additional snapshot step. So here within the application process, I can actually create a snapshot. So I do this automatically. So I'm going to call this step create snap. The snapshot name will be unique because we've already pre-populated it with the unique date and time. So I'll just give this a prefix of snap1. Link this up, save it, and we're ready to use the SnapShot plugin. So simply request the process. So I'm going to select a revision, and as normal the process will be called, and we can see there's an additional line. As well as installing the component version 2, we can see that there is an additional line here, create snapshot. So an additional snapshot has now been created. And indeed, if I go back to the application, I look at snapshots, here we can see the snapshot's been created with its own unique timestamp. And within the snapshot we can see that this has used the component version from VFS1 version 2. In addition to creating snapshots, we can also modify this application process by simply going to the process again, and we can add in an additional step. There are two other steps: add status to snapshot and remove status from snapshot. In this case, we're just going to add a status to the snapshot that's going to be created. In this case, we are going to use a snapshot from the step name. So there's three different options there. You can use the request snapshot. So if we were to deploy out based upon a snapshot, we could use that option. Or we could use a snapshot that's been created in the past. Or we can use a snapshot that's been created on a particular step name, which is the one we're going to use here. So my step name, as we can see, is create snap. So I'll go ahead and define that, and I've defined a status of dev. Now, just to remind you, the status itself is actually defined, so I'll just save this first off. This status has actually been defined under administration, automation, statuses, and here we can see there's different snapshot statuses have already been defined, so you may need to define these prior to defining that add status step. But let's go back now, and let's now request that application. I'm going to redeploy version 2 again, so I've unchecked only change versions, and let's now see what happens. In addition to installing the components, we can see that there is a create snapshot, so it's created another new snapshot with a timestamp dependent name, and we can see that it's added the status dev to this snapshot. So if we just dive in, look at the snapshots, the latest snapshot that's been created is this one here. We can go in and we can see that the status has been added to this snapshot as well. And again, we've created against version 2. So that is a quick look at the SnapShot plugin, and you would do well to make use of this plugin and make use of the power of snapshots. Recommended reading material would not only be the associated Getting Started guide, but this blog here on Serena Central that talks about the power of snapshots created by Kevin Lee. Well worth reading into if you're not familiar with snapshots. Thank you for taking time and watching this video.